NBA draft script, simple English version with the first pick in the 2003 NBA draft. The Cleveland Cavaliers choose LeBron James. He was only 19 years old, living on food stamps, and here they are coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James has a shot at history, and LeBron stands alone. For many years, getting the first pick in the NBA has been like having a magic trick. In fact, since 1980, almost 78% of all first picks have become also. These are players who can change everything for their team, like Magic Johnson, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Tim Duncan. But just one pick later, that number drops to 32%. This proves that even the smallest difference on draft night can change everything. But getting the first pick doesn't always mean you can save or fix your team. Sometimes you get LeBron James, and other times you get this guy. Today, I want to go through the first picks from the early 2000s to see just how good those players really were. I want to know why some guys did great while others failed badly. And I want to show you the crazy change from the golden time of basketball to today's NBA. But for a little bit in the 1990s, the first pick gave 8 different teams also level players. 4 of those players became Hall of Famers. That's Shaq, Chris Webber, Allen Iverson, and Tim Duncan. 3 became MVPs. This makes the 90s one of the best decades ever for number 1 picks. Similarly, the 2000s number 1 picks also gave the league lots of talent. It also gave us a couple of really bad picks, and I'm talking really bad picks, which finally brings us to the first pick. The New Jersey Nets select Kenyon Martin from the University of Cincinnati. With the first pick in the 2000 draft, the New Jersey Nets picked a player with a very complicated career and a whole lot of bounce. This player was, of course, Kenyon Martin. After 4 years of college at Cincinnati, Kenyon became the face of his draft class and the first pick. But when he joined the league, Kenyon's career went up and down from a promising young two-way player to an injury-prone role player later on. So what happened in between that led Kenyon to his downfall? Well, after a strong rookie season where he came in second for Rookie of the Year, Kenyon proved himself as one of the league's best defenders. On top of that, Kenyon helped the Nets make their first ever trip to the finals in just his 3rd season. He scored the 2nd most points on his team while also being the Nets' main defender. By his 4th season, Martin was scoring almost 17 points a game, getting 8 rebounds and 1.3 blocks. This gave him enough stats to make the All-Star team. By all accounts, Kenyon's young career looked like it was going in a very good direction. But despite all his early success, the Nets didn't want to commit to Kenyon long-term because of character problems. These came from a fight he had with veteran center Alonzo Mourning. According to Scoop B Radio, Martin made fun of the veteran during practice by talking about his recent fight with a life-threatening kidney disease. Because of this and their expensive salary cap, the Nets decided to trade Kenyon to Denver Nuggets for 3 first-round picks. But once in Denver, Kenyon Martin began to do great alongside rising star Carmelo Anthony and aging veteran Allen Iverson. He continued his playoff success by helping the Nuggets make a run all the way to the conference finals. But sadly, this run would become Kenyon's final playoff appearance as a string of injuries would keep him out for over 50% of his remaining NBA career. So in the end, Kenyon never became a superstar. But he was a respected enforcer along with a strong two-way talent on a few different contenders. Now, Kenyon lives on in the hearts and minds of fans for his many amazing dunks and through the play of his son, who's currently playing 22 minutes a night for the Utah Jazz. So, not the best career for a number one pick, but also not the worst. This next player, on the other hand, is about as bad as a first pick can get. The Washington Wizards select Kwame Brown from Glenn Academy at 6 feet 11 with a 7 feet 5 inches wingspan. Kwame Brown had all the tools to be a once-in-a-generation talent. He dominated Georgia high school basketball, averaging 20 points and almost 6 blocks per game. He earned a spot at the McDonald's All-American game, and he wasn't just good, he was elite. Kansas came calling, offering him a full ride under legendary coach Roy Williams. But instead of becoming a Jayhawk, Kwame made a shocking decision, all because of one man, the GOAT himself. Michael Jordan personally came to his house and said, "If you declare for the draft, I'll take you number one." So just like that, Kwame Brown became the first high school player ever drafted number one overall, and by none other than Michael Jordan and the Washington Wizards in 2001. It should have been a dream come true. Instead, it was a nightmare. Remember, Kwame didn't just play for the Washington Wizards, he played for the team Michael Jordan played on. Jordan, at 38 years old, signed himself to the Wizards, hoping to mentor Kwame into a franchise cornerstone. But that mentorship quickly turned mean. Sources say Jordan was cruel, making fun of him in practice, calling him a flaming loser, and making fun of his small hands in front of teammates. As a 19-year-old kid, Kwame's confidence was destroyed, and that wasn't even the lowest point. During a brutal 101 game at practice, Kwame blew past MJ for a dunk where he made the mistake of trash-talking him, saying something like, "You reach, I teach." Jordan snapped, "You teach? I'll knock you on your butt." Then did exactly that, lighting up possession after possession, embarrassing the young kid. From that moment on, Kwame's career was never the same. During his rookie season, he averaged 4.5 points per game. The Wizards tried to give him time to develop, and by year 3, he showed flashes of what made him the number one pick, averaging 10.9 points and 7.4 rebounds per game in the 2003 season. It was his best year ever, but it would also be his peak. The very next season, he suffered a foot injury, missed most of the year, and clashed with the Wizards coaching staff. Washington basically gave up on him, and in 2005, they traded him to the Lakers. At that point, he went from a promising young player to a full-fledged NBA journeyman. The Lakers hoped they could turn things around, giving him a shot as their starting center in 2006. But it became painfully obvious that he just didn't have the skill set to succeed in the modern NBA. His footwork was shaky, his touch around the rim was inconsistent, and worst of all, his hands were a disaster. Kobe Bryant once joked he couldn't catch a cold in Alaska. This wasn't just a joke, it was a real problem. He constantly fumbled passes, missed rebounds, and missed easy layups, frustrating Lakers fans and his superstar teammate. By 2008, the Lakers had seen enough. They were desperate for a real second option to help Kobe win a championship. So they packaged Brown in a trade for Poga, a skilled big man who fit perfectly with Kobe's game. And just like that, Kwame's biggest impact on NBA history wasn't anything he did on the court. It was being the guy the Lakers gave up to get Pogas, who helped them win back-to-back titles in 2009 and 2010. After the trade, Kwame Brown bounced around the league for a few more years before quietly fading out of the NBA in 2013. His final career stats, 6.6 points, 5.5 rebounds per game. But Brown wasn't done making headlines. In 2021, his former teammate Gilbert Arenas went on the All the Smoke podcast and took shots at him. So when I get there, he doesn't have confidence, small hands. So he was more guard-like. You know what I mean? So when he decided to take off, he's gone. Ball's still there. That set Kwame off. He fired back in a YouTube rant that went viral, calling out Gilbert, Stephen A. Smith, and everyone who ever doubted him. From that moment on, Brown became an internet legend. His YouTube channel, The Bus Life, now has over 400,000 subscribers where he roasts his haters, talks basketball, and keeps his name in the headlines. So while his NBA career didn't go as planned, Kwame Brown might have gotten the last laugh. But now let's talk about a number 1 pick who actually lived up to the hype and changed basketball forever. The Houston Rockets select Yao Ming from Shanghai, China, and the Shanghai Sharks. Yao Ming's basketball career wasn't just a dream, it was planned from birth. Born in Shanghai, China, as a result of an arranged marriage between 2 basketball players, Yao was destined to play professional basketball before he could even walk. Doctors predicted as a baby that he'd grow to over 7 feet tall, and his family made sure he'd live up to that prediction. At just 13 years old, Yao was forced to train 10 hours a day, turning him into one of the most highly anticipated foreign prospects in basketball history. By 2001, he was already a superstar in China, averaging an insane 38 points and 20 rebounds in the CBA Finals, leading the Shanghai Sharks to their first championship, the Washington Wizards. Still reeling from whiffing on Kwame Brown, wanted to take Yao Ming first overall in 2001, but China had other plans. The government forced Yao to play another season in the CBA, delaying his NBA debut by a year. So in 2002, the Houston Rockets struck a deal and finally got their chance at drafting Yao first overall. It was a year later than expected, but trust me, he was worth the wait. Yao's NBA debut was one of the most anticipated of all time, but in his very first game, 0 points. Charles Barkley and the NBA media saw this and immediately wrote Yao off. Barkley was on live TV making fun of Yao and betting Kenny that Yao couldn't score. 19 points in a game. He ain't going to get 19 points. If he gets 19 points in a game, I'll kiss his